Hello everyone and welcome to my Disruptor HOTshot, during which I will interview innovative startup leaders who have the guts to push the boundaries. I'm very excited today because I'm welcoming my first disruptor and also a good friend of mine. Jean-Simon Venne is CTO of BrainBox AI. Jean-Simon, welcome to the hot seat.
It's a pleasure to be with you this morning.
It's been a long time that we've seen each other.
Oh, yeah,
Time flies when you're having fun, Jean-Simon.
that's what they say, right?
So Jean-Simon, we talk about climate change more and more, and I think it should become a priority in all of our lives to start to do what we can to help make the world greener. At BrainBox AI, you do just that, and you work with to enable green building, the building evolution or revolution, should we call it? What is it exactly, and why is it so important?
Yeah, so what we do, Isabel, is we use the deep learning AI, which is very popular in the social media, in the autonomous car, and we're connecting our system to the existing building, these large commercial building, office tower, hospital, airport, hotels, and we extract the data from these buildings. And then we feed the deep learning with this huge amount of data. And what is the deep learning giving us? It's giving us the prediction of the future. So it's telling us when it's finished learning what will be happening in the next 2 to 8 hours in that building. So we basically see the future. So what can we do with that vision of the future? It's a bit like the movie Back to the Future, right? We have the capability to go in the future, see what it looked like, and then we come back in the present time and we ask the AI, what should we modify in the operation of that building right now? So we change that future for a better future. And what's happening is the value we're creating by shaping up the future, removing the undesired event in the operation of the building, is we manage to reduce the energy consumption of the building by around 24, 25%. But what's quite interesting is at the same time, we increase the comfort of the user of the building, and we're reducing the emission of that building by 40%. And that is, I think, the key message that we need to come across is just by operating the building in a more preemptive fashion, using the deep learning capability of AI, we shave like nearly half of the emission of that building.
Well, that's is really impressive, but I guess that's quite a complex thing to do. What are the key challenges in making that a reality?
Yeah, so when I explain it, it sounds kind of easy, plug and play, right? Devil is in the detail, and so imagine we need to connect to these existing systems, which were quite different, and we need to extract that enormous quantity of data and move it to the cloud. We need to clean that data. We need to reformat the data so the AI algorithm will be happy with it. So just that in itself is a huge challenge because each building has its own way of generating the data, which is a bit different from one building to the next. So we need to standardize, clean up everything so the AI is happy with it. So that's a huge challenge. And it's kind of plugging together not only the mathematics side of AI, but all of the computer science managing the cloud and all of the telecom side, which goes into we need to connect these buildings to the cloud.
Okay, so I guess it brings me to my next question. Most of the people watching us today will be from the telecom space. So how can telecom operators play a role in all of this complexity?
Well, the challenge is we need to have a very reliable connection from the building to the cloud. We need to have a secure connection because this is command and control, right? This is autonomous AI operating the building for you. So it's a bit like the autonomous car. Security is pivotal. You don't want to have any issue on that. So it's very robust on the security side, a lot of capacity, and as little latency as possible because this is live command and control. So having delay will basically impact what can you do in terms of command and operation in that building. So real time is the key here. So what we develop over the time is we kind of figured out because we're shipping our connector box through to courier like FedEx, UPS throughout the world. We don't really sending anybody on site. So we need to have a box that is coming to the customer, easy to connect, a bit like IKEA, just follow the pictogram. And we use 4G LTE connection because they offer more security than if we go through the firewall of the customer, which require modification, opening wall. So the 4G and LTE connection of the different provider we're using throughout the world is giving us, first of all, like a private IP. So it's not even visible. Encryption is much higher. And we're not in a situation where we're opening port or trying to creating a backdoor to access that building. So the security level is really there. The latency though on 4G might be a problem in some areas. So it's interesting because we connected recently a building in downtown London, and most of the time latency is quite all right, but sometimes latency is an issue, and for a few hours we're having issue with the latency. So that is like a challenge that we're still trying to overcome.
So I guess 5G will be a game changer, or will, kind of bring your solution to the next level in some way.
It's exactly what we think. So we're following the deployment of 5G, and we would like it to be faster than it is. But yeah, absolutely. For us, it's and similar than the autonomous car. I mean, they're betting that the 5G will be the ultimate solution to open the space. For us, it's going to give us a lot more flexibility, and it's going to make our system even more robust, but faster in the way it's generating value.
So earlier in the interview, you said that your solution looks into the future. So I like to look into the future as well. So what does the future hold for AI? What are the next evolution we can expect in the energy space, and how will that impact the telecom world?
So the grid, the energy grid is evolving very, very rapidly right now. So it used to be huge plant producing energy, electricity, then their transport, this energy is moved to the different location, and building are consuming that energy load. Now that the ecosystem is shifting, so now we have batteries. So people are putting batteries pretty much everywhere. You have local production of energy, either solar panel or small windmill. So it's becoming a distributed ecosystem, very meshed. And what's interesting is now we're having the discussion, and we were having this discussion in Germany and Switzerland. It's okay, so we have regular battery. So at what time of day should I charge my battery? And at what time of day should I discharge it to reduce my emission, and to also reduce my bill, my energy bill that I'm going to pay at the end of the month? But on the building side, you could also have a thermal battery. So at what time should I condition the space? At what time should I just glide on my temperature in the space? So you also have that kind of a thermal battery. So it's really becoming like the merge of all of these devices. You could see IoT if you want. And you need to connect all of these things into one ecosystem, and they need to work together. So on our side, what we're doing is imagine that downtown London, you would have 100 buildings with our AI agent modulating each of their building. We will connect these agents together so they start to act as a school of fish. So these 100 buildings in downtown London will suddenly start to shift together to prevent the energy company to start a gas power generation plant, and then having a huge impact on the emission at the production level, not only at the consumption level. So that's where it's moving, and it's moving there more rapidly than we thought, actually.
Wow, Jean-Simon, this is actually, we could talk about this for much longer. Maybe it's the first interview of a series, because I think that's super interesting and important for telecom operators to understand what's coming and what their role could be in making this a reality. So thank you so much for being part of my HotShot interview. Wasn't too painful?
No, it was not, actually. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Isabel.
And who would have thought that, I won't say how many years ago, we were in engineering class together, we would do this interview. It's so much fun.
Let's not mention a number of years, please.
I'm not saying anything. So thank you for being, so inspiring. I think what you're doing is super exciting, and I hope it's inspired. Well, it's definitely inspired me, but I hope it's inspired the people looking at our interview to do each of our part in making our world greener. So thank you very much, Jean-Simon.
It was my pleasure.
Everyone, thank you for watching, and until my next Disruptor HotShot.